Penn Station, New York, 5:30 p.m., rush hour. The crowd surges, footsteps echo, announcements blare. Ryan Baxter, 16, son of tech billionaire Oliver Baxter, lingers near the platform. Black backpack slung carelessly, AirPods drowning out the chaos. Inside his bag, a timed bomb, 10 minutes to oblivion. No one knows except her. Emma Carter, middle-aged, in a gray coat and thick glasses, blends into the throng. Her hand grips an old ballpoint pen, etched Dubai, 2017, the last relic of her NSA codebreaker days, erased after a betrayal in Dubai. Who planted the bomb? Why target Ryan? Emma doesn't need answers, only action. The crowd moves blindly. Enemies lurk nearby. Time slips away. A wire peeks from the backpack, blinking a deadly red. Emma steps forward, a shadow in the storm, her eyes locked on the boy. She knows. One wrong move, and Penn Station becomes ash. Once a ghost, she's now the only hope. Her pen is no ordinary tool. It's a weapon of precision. But who is she really? Only Ryan might see her truth. Will he live to tell? The clock ticks, and Emma moves. Penn Station pulsed with chaos at 5:30 p.m., a concrete heart pumping New York's lifeblood. Commuters surged through turnstiles, their faces blurred in the rush. Briefcases swung, heels clicked. Voices drowned by the screech of incoming trains. The air hung heavy with diesel fumes and stale coffee, a sensory assault that Emma Carter navigated with practiced indifference. She stood near exit 7, a gray coat blending her into the crowd, thick glasses masking eyes that missed nothing. Middle-aged, unremarkable, she was a ghost by design, a woman no one remembered. But Emma was no stranger to danger. Once a prodigy codebreaker for the NSA, she'd unraveled encrypted networks from Dubai to DC, her mind a steel trap for patterns and threats. That life ended in 2017, in a Dubai safe house, when her team was betrayed. Ambushed by mercenaries, her partner's blood stained her hands as she fled, the NSA branding her a liability. Erased. She vanished, building a new life of anonymity, until today. Emma's fingers grazed the ballpoint pen in her pocket, etched Dubai, 2017, a relic of her past. It wasn't just a pen. It had hacked systems, disarmed locks, saved her life. She carried it like a soldier carries a medal, a reminder of debts unpaid. Her presence at Penn Station wasn't chance. At 3 a.m., a coded message had pinged an old NSA burner phone she'd kept hidden. The cipher was one only she could crack. Ryan Baxter. Black backpack. 5:30 p.m. No sender, no context, just a name and a place. Ryan Baxter, 16, son of tech billionaire Oliver Baxter, whose AI empire had enemies from Silicon Valley to Shanghai. Emma knew Oliver from Dubai, a contract job, brief but tense, where her codes secured his early algorithms. She owed him nothing, yet the message felt personal, a pull she couldn't ignore. Her eyes scanned the platform. Ryan stood 30 feet away, lanky. In a hoodie, AirPods in, black backpack slung over one shoulder. He scrolled his phone, oblivious to the crowd, a privileged kid unaware of his own spotlight. Emma clocked the backpack zipper. A wire peeking out, blinking red, subtle, but to her trained eye, a scream. A bomb. Her pulse stayed steady. Panic was a luxury she'd shed in Dubai. She calculated, 10 minutes on the timer. Maybe less. The crowd was dense, a human shield and a trap. Evacuation would spark chaos, detonating the device early. She had to act alone, unseen. 3 men in dark coats loomed nearby, their movements too precise for commuters. One, Cole, lingered by a pillar, earpiece glinting. Emma recognized the type. Mercenaries, disciplined, likely ex-special forces. They weren't here for the train. Her mind raced. Was Ryan the target, or a pawn? Oliver's enemies, rival CEOs, rogue agencies, had motive to strike his heir. Or was this about her? A trap to flush out the ghost of Dubai. The pen felt heavy in her hand. She adjusted her glasses, stepping closer to Ryan, her face a mask of calm. The crowd roared on, blind to the ticking doom. Emma was their only shield, a nameless woman with 9 minutes to rewrite fate. Emma Carter's fingers traced the etched, Dubai, 2017, on her ballpoint pen, its weight a tether to a past she'd buried. Penn Station's chaos swirled around her, Commuters shoving, announcements crackling, the air thick with urgency. She stood near exit 7, a ghost in a gray coat. Her thick glasses shielding eyes that saw too much. Once, she'd been the NSA's sharpest codebreaker, dismantling terrorist networks with algorithms only she could weave. Dubai had changed that. In 2017, a covert op to secure a rogue server went wrong. Her team, 5 operatives, walked into an ambush. Mercenaries, tipped off by a traitor within, cut them down. Emma's partner, Lena, bled out in her arms, whispering, "Find who sold us." Emma escaped, but the NSA branded her a failure, erasing her existence. She'd gone dark, living off cash, moving like smoke. The pen, a gift from Lena, was her only keepsake, a tool that had cracked safes, rewired traps, kept her alive. Today's mission wasn't random. At 3 a.m., her burner phone, hidden in a Brooklyn lockbox, had buzzed with a coded message, Ryan Baxter. Black backpack. 5:30 p.m. The cipher was NSA grade, one she'd designed herself. Only a handful knew it. None should. Was it a trap to draw her out? Or a plea for help? Ryan, 16, son of tech billionaire Oliver Baxter, stood 30 feet away, oblivious, his black backpack a ticking threat. Emma knew Oliver from Dubai. She'd safeguarded his early AI prototypes, their paths crossing in a tense, fleeting alliance. He'd called her unbreakable then, but never reached out after her fall. Did he send the message? Or was this the work of his enemies, rival tech moguls, foreign agents, or worse, her own betrayer from Dubai? Emma's gaze flicked to the backpack. The blinking red wire screamed danger, 9 minutes left. Ryan, in his hoodie, scrolled his phone, AirPods isolating him from the crowd's pulse. He was a pawn, but whose? Oliver's AI empire had sparked wars, corporate espionage, government contracts, hacked patents. Kidnapping or killing Ryan would cripple him. Emma's mind mapped the stakes. A bomb in Penn Station wasn't just terrorism. It was a message, a power play. She spotted Cole, the mercenary, by a pillar, his earpiece glinting, his posture too rigid for a commuter. 2 others moved in sync, their eyes scanning for threats. They weren't here for chaos. They were here for Ryan. Her betrayal in Dubai taught her trust was a blade that cut both ways. Lena's last words, "Find who sold us," burned in her. Was this bomb her chance to settle that debt, or a lure to her grave? Emma didn't care for glory, she cared for lives. Ryan's innocence, like Lena's, demanded action. Her pen clicked softly, a habit from decoding under fire. She adjusted her glasses, her face a mask of calm, but her mind was a storm. Calculating exits, sight lines, risks. Cole's gaze swept closer. He hadn't seen her yet, but time was thinning. The crowd was her shield, but also her cage. 8 minutes remained. Emma stepped forward, a shadow slicing through the crowd's current, her pen a silent promise. She wasn't just a woman in the crowd. She was its reckoning, a shadow ready to rewrite the ticking fate of Penn Station. Penn Station's chaos was a living beast, its roar muffling the ticking doom in Ryan Baxter's backpack. The 16-year-old son of tech billionaire Oliver Baxter stood near platform 12. Black hoodie loose, AirPods blaring, oblivious to the red blink of a bomb hidden in his bag. Ryan, lanky with his father's sharp jaw, had left his elite Manhattan prep school an hour ago, grabbing the backpack from a locker, thinking it was his. A stranger's mix-up at school had planted the device, military grade, compact, with 8 minutes left. Emma Carter, 30 feet away, watched him through her thick glasses, her gray coat a cloak of invisibility. Her NSA training screamed. This wasn't random. Ryan was a target, a pawn in a game bigger than Penn Station's concrete sprawl. Emma's mind parsed the threat. Oliver Baxter's AI empire, neural core, had reshaped global tech, self-driving cars, surveillance drones, quantum encryption. His enemies were legion, rival CEOs, foreign intelligence, even rogue NSA factions. Kidnapping Ryan would bend Oliver. Killing him would break him. The bomb, though, was theatrical, a public strike to humiliate neural core and demand its AI patents. Emma spotted the wire's faint pulse in Ryan's bag, a red heartbeat counting down. She calculated. Evacuation would trigger panic, detonating the bomb early. Direct action was her only path, but exposure risked her ghost-like existence. Ryan scrolled his phone. unaware of the three mercenaries weaving through the crowd. Cole, their leader, stood by a pillar, his earpiece relaying orders. His two comrades, Vince and Shaw, patrolled the exits, their tasers hidden but ready. Emma recognized their precision, ex-Black Ops, likely hired by a corporate shadow or a state player. Cole's eyes locked on Ryan, confirming the boy was their mark. Emma's pen, etched Dubai 2017, clicked softly in her pocket. In Dubai, she'd disarmed a car bomb with it, saving a diplomat. Here, the stakes were higher. Hundreds of lives, a billionaire's son, a city's pulse. The crowd surged, a human tide blocking Emma's path to Ryan. She needed to close the gap without alerting Cole. Her betrayal in Dubai, mercenaries slaughtering her team, taught her to trust no one. Was this bomb a trap to lure her out, or a genuine plea from her coded messages sender? The NSA cipher hinted at someone high up, maybe Oliver himself. But why use her, a disgraced operative? Ryan's innocence, like her lost partner Lena's, gnawed at her. She couldn't save Lena, but she could save him. Her glasses fogged slightly. She wiped them, her resolve hardening. She'd act, not for Oliver, not for glory, but for the boy who didn't deserve to die. 7 minutes remained. Emma's gaze flicked to the platform's edge, too exposed. A nearby ticket booth offered cover, but time was her enemy. The bomb's tech was advanced, likely remote-triggered if she tampered with it. She needed Ryan alone, but he was a magnet for eyes. Billionaire's kid, careless swagger. The crowd's chaos was her ally, masking her approach, but also a cage, slowing her steps. Emma moved, a shadow slicing through the throng, her pen ready. Penn Station's fate hung on her next move, a silent vow to rewrite the ticking script of death. Emma Carter stood motionless near Penn Station's ticket booth, the crowd's clamor a distant hum against the ticking bomb in Ryan Baxter's backpack. 7 minutes remained. Her hand gripped the Dubai 2017 pen, its etched surface a scar of her past. Once an NSA prodigy, she'd unraveled threats in shadowed rooms, but Dubai's betrayal, her team slaughtered, her name erased, had taught her the cost of visibility. Now, anonymity was her armor, a shield built from years of cash-only motels and burner phones. Acting now could shatter that, exposing her to enemies who'd hunted her since 2017. Yet Ryan, the billionaire's son, stood unaware, his AirPods sealing him in a bubble of privilege. His eyes, sharp like his father Oliver's, held a flicker of innocence that pierced Emma. It echoed Lena, her partner, whose dying plea, "Find who sold us," still haunted her dreams. Emma's mind churned. Saving Ryan meant stepping into the light, risking the NSA's gaze, or worse, the traitor who'd orchestrated Dubai. The coded message that brought her here, Ryan Baxter. Black backpack, 5:30 p.m. was too precise, too personal. Was it Oliver, leveraging her skills to protect his heir? Or a trap to finish what Dubai started? Her betrayal had carved a rule: trust no one, act alone. But Ryan wasn't just a name. He was a boy, 16, caught in a war he didn't understand. Oliver's neural core empire, with its AI reshaping global power, had enemies who'd kill to control it. The bomb was their gambit, a public execution to break a titan. Emma could walk away, vanish into the city's veins, but Lena's ghost whispered, "You didn't save me." Save him. Across the platform, Cole, the mercenary, scanned the crowd, his earpiece relaying orders. His allies, Vince and Shaw, guarded the exits, their tasers ready to neutralize threats. Emma's gaze locked on Ryan's backpack, the red blink now a pulse in her vision. 6 minutes. Direct action was suicide. Cole's team would spot her. Evacuation would spark chaos, triggering the bomb. Her pen, a tool that had cracked safes and rewired traps, was her only weapon. She could disarm the device, but it required getting close, touching Ryan's world. The crowd was her cloak, but also a maze. Slowing her approach, Cole's eyes narrowed, sensing a shift. He didn't know her face, but he knew someone was watching. Emma's heart stayed steady, trained to bury fear. Dubai had cost her everything: her team, her identity, her faith in systems. She'd vowed never to play hero again, yet here she was, drawn by a cipher only she could read. Was this redemption or recklessness? Ryan's careless shrug, adjusting his backpack, decided her. He was no different from the civilians she'd sworn to protect. even after the NSA burned her. Her glasses fogged slightly. She wiped them, her resolve hardening. She'd act, not for Oliver, not for glory, but for the boy who didn't deserve to die. 5 minutes left. Emma stepped forward, a shadow slicing through the crowd's current, her pen a silent promise. Penn Station's fate hung on her choice. Act now, or let the past win. She chose to fight, a ghost no longer hiding, but hunting. Emma Carter glided through Penn Station's human tide, a shadow weaving past elbows and briefcases. 5 minutes remained until the bomb in Ryan Baxter's backpack turned the station into rubble. Her gray coat and thick glasses cloaked her as an unremarkable commuter, but her mind, honed by NSA training, mapped every detail. Exits blocked by rushing crowds, security cameras flickering, and 3 mercenaries closing in. Ryan, the 16-year-old heir to Oliver Baxter's neural core empire, leaned against a platform railing, AirPods isolating him. His black backpack a silent harbinger of death. The faint red blink from its zipper seared Emma's vision. She had to reach him, disarm the device, and vanish before Cole, the lead mercenary, marked her as a threat. Emma's fingers brushed the Dubai 2017 pen in her pocket, a relic that had undone locks and circuits in darker days. Her approach required precision. Any misstep could alert Cole's team or spook Ryan, risking detonation. She scanned the platform. Cole stood 20 feet away, his earpiece relaying hushed orders, while Vince and Shaw patrolled the exits, their tasers concealed but primed. The crowd's chaos was her veil, masking her intent, but time was a noose tightening with each second. She needed Ryan alone, away from prying eyes. Pretending to stumble, Emma bumped into a businessman, dropping his coffee. "Sorry," she muttered, her voice soft, unmemorable. The distraction let her close the gap to Ryan, now 10 feet away. She studied him, lanky, confident, unaware of the danger slung over his shoulder. The backpack's wire suggested a military-grade explosive, likely remote-triggered. Disarming it required access, but grabbing Ryan would draw Cole's gaze. Emma's Dubai betrayal, her team's blood on her hands, taught her to act unseen. She adjusted her glasses, her face a blank canvas, and stepped closer, blending with a group of tourists. Ryan glanced up, annoyed, as Emma brushed past, her hand grazing his backpack. Her fingers, steady despite the stakes, felt the device's outline, small, sleek, deadly. The timer's glow showed 4 minutes. She whispered, "Wrong bag, kid," her voice low, urgent. Ryan frowned, pulling out an AirPod, his eyes narrowing. "What?" he snapped, his privilege flaring. Emma's stare, sharp behind her lenses, silenced him. "Walk with me. Now." Her tone carried the weight of someone who'd faced death and won. Ryan hesitated, then followed, sensing truth in her urgency. Cole's head turned, his earpiece crackling. He spotted Ryan moving, his hand twitching toward his coat. Emma guided Ryan toward a ticket booth shadow, using the crowd as cover. Her pen clicked, a reflex from decoding under pressure. She needed 30 seconds to inspect the device, but Vince was closing in from the left, his stride too purposeful. Emma's mind raced. The bomb could be disarmed, but not here, not now. A service door nearby led to maintenance tunnels, her only chance. She nudged Ryan, her voice ablade. "Move, or we're all dead." He obeyed, fear replacing defiance. The crowd roared, oblivious to the unfolding war. Emma's heart stayed calm, her training a shield against panic. For minutes, she was no hero, just a ghost refusing to let another Dubai unfold. Penn Station's pulse thrummed, but Emma was its silent savior, her every step a calculated defiance of fate's ticking clock. Penn Station's clamor froze as every screen went black, digital schedules, ticket kiosks, security feeds, all dead. Phones lost signal, their screens blank, and the overhead speakers fell silent, replaced by a low hum, like a predator's growl. The crowd, a restless sea of commuters, faltered, voices rising in confusion. Emma Carter, tucked behind a ticket booth with Ryan Baxter, knew this was no glitch. A military-grade jammer had activated, severing Penn Station from the world. The bomb in Ryan's backpack, its red light pulsing through the zipper, had 4 minutes left. Emma's gray coat and thick glasses kept her invisible, but her NSA-honed instincts screamed. The mercenaries were tightening their net. Cole, their leader, stood near platform 12. His earpiece silent now, his eyes scanning for Ryan, the billionaire's son. The jammer was a masterstroke, isolating the station to ensure the bomb's detonation went unseen until too late. Emma's mind, a labyrinth of code and survival, traced the implications. Oliver Baxter's neural core, with its AI patents, was the prize, Ryan's death a lever to force compliance. The crowd's panic was a weapon, amplifying chaos. Emma gripped her Dubai 2017 pen, its etched surface grounding her. In Dubai, a similar blackout had preceded her team's slaughter. She'd escaped then, she wouldn't fail now. Ryan, 16, clutched his backpack, his AirPods dangling, fear replacing his earlier defiance. "What's happening?" he whispered, voice cracking. Emma's gaze, sharp behind her lenses, silenced him. "Stay close," she hissed. Cole signaled Vince and Shaw, his team fanning out. Their tasers, hidden under dark coats, were ready to neutralize threats. Emma spotted Vince nearing the booth, his stride cutting through the crowd's disarray. 3 minutes. The jammer's hum vibrated faintly, betraying its source, a device likely hidden near the main concourse. Emma calculated, disabling it could restore comms, alerting authorities, but it risked exposing her. The service door to the maintenance tunnels, 10 feet away, was her best shot to reach the bomb. Ryan's backpack weighed on her mind. Its explosive was remote-triggered, meaning Cole's team could detonate it early if they sensed interference. Emma nudged Ryan toward the door, using a group of tourists as cover. The crowd's agitation, people shoving, shouting about missed trains, masked their movement. Her pen clicked, a reflex from decoding under pressure. Vince's eyes swept closer. He hadn't seen her, but his instincts were sharp. Emma's Dubai scars ached, a reminder of betrayal's cost. She'd vowed never to play savior again, but Ryan's trembling hands, clutching the bag, stirred her resolve. He was no pawn to her, but a life. Like those she couldn't save. She whispered, "Move now, or we're done." Ryan nodded, fear binding him to her. The service door loomed, its lock simple but time-consuming. Emma's pen could pick it, but Cole was closing in, his gaze locking on Ryan's hoodie. 2 minutes. The jammer's hum grew erratic, a sign of overheating. Emma's training kicked in. She could exploit that flaw, but not yet. She pushed Ryan forward, her body a shield. Penn Station was a tomb waiting to erupt, and Emma, the ghost in its shadows, was its only chance to breathe again. Penn Station's shadows swallowed Emma Carter as she steered Ryan Baxter toward a rusted service door, the bomb in his backpack a relentless pulse. 3 minutes remained. The station's lights flickered under the jammer's grip, casting jagged silhouettes across the concourse. Commuters stumbled, their shouts a chaotic symphony, unaware of the explosive threat slung over Ryan's shoulder. Emma's gray coat and thick glasses masked her, but her NSA training burned bright, every angle, every risk, calculated. Cole, the mercenary leader, stood 15 feet away, his earpiece dead, his eyes slicing through the crowd for Ryan, the 16-year-old heir to Oliver Baxter's neural core empire. Vince, his ally, closed in from the left, his taser a hidden fong beneath his dark jacket. Emma's Dubai 2017 pen, clutched in her pocket, was her only defense, its etched memory of betrayal fueling her focus. Vince's gaze snagged on Ryan's hoodie, his stride quickening. Emma's heart stayed cold, her mind a fortress. She couldn't fight here. The crowd was too dense, the bomb too volatile. Her goal was the maintenance tunnels beyond the door, where she could disarm the device. But Vince was 5 steps away, his hand twitching toward his coat. Emma improvised, shoving a luggage cart into a tourist, its clatter drawing eyes. "Watch it," the man yelled, pulling Vince's attention. She seized the moment, nudging Ryan closer to the door, her voice a low blade. "Don't look back." Cole's head snapped up, sensing disruption. His training, likely ex-special forces, made him lethal, but Emma knew his type from Dubai, where mercenaries had hunted her team. She'd outwitted them then, a ghost slipping through blood and fire. Now, she used the crowd's turmoil as a shield, weaving Ryan past a knot of commuters. The service door's lock glinted, mechanical, vulnerable to her pen's tip. 2 minutes. Ryan's breath hitched, his AirPods dangling, fear etching his face. "Who are you?" he whispered. Emma ignored him, her fingers probing the lock. The pen's point a surgeon's tool. A faint click signaled progress, But Vince was 3 steps away, his eyes locking on her. Emma's glasses slipped. She left them, her face bare, but unreadable. Vince hesitated, unsure if she was a threat or a bystander. She exploited his doubt, slumping slightly, mimicking a harried commuter. Her pin twisted, the lock yielding, but Cole's voice cut through. Target moving, north exit. He'd spotted Ryan. Emma shoved the door open, a sliver of darkness beckoning. Vince lunged, his taser sparking. She sidestepped, using Ryan as a shield, and slammed the door shut, its clang echoing. 1 minute. The tunnels stretched ahead, damp and shadowed, but safe, for now. Emma pulled Ryan inside, her pin back in her pocket, her mind racing. Cole's team would follow. The bomb's timer was merciless. She'd bought seconds, not safety. Ryan's eyes, wide with shock, met hers. "Why me?" he gasped. Emma's silence was her answer. She wasn't here for his story, but for the lives his death would claim. Her Dubai scars, mental and physical, drove her forward. Penn Station's pulse faded behind the door, but its fate rested on her shoulders. She was no savior, just a shadow defying the clock's cruel math, ready to face the next hunter in the dark. The maintenance tunnel's damp air clung to Emma Carter's skin as she pulled Ryan Baxter deeper into its shadows. Penn Station's muffled chaos faded, replaced by the drip of unseen pipes and the bomb's relentless pulse in Ryan's backpack. 2 minutes remained. Emma's gray coat, now streaked with grime, and her discarded glasses left her face bare. Her eyes a storm of focus. Her Dubai 2017 pen, tucked in her pocket, had picked the service door's lock, buying them seconds. Ryan, the 16-year-old heir to Oliver Baxter's neural core empire, stumbled, his hoodie damp with sweat, fear stripping his billionaire bravado. The tunnel's dim bulbs flickered, casting jagged light on their path. But Emma's NSA training kept her steady, a ghost navigating a concrete underworld. Outside, Cole's mercenaries regrouped, their tasers ready, hunting the boy who carried their leverage. Emma's mind, a maze of code and survival, replayed the jammer's activation, screens dead, signals gone. It wasn't just terrorism. It was surgical, targeting neural core's heart. She halted Ryan near a junction, her hand grazing his backpack. The device's red glow showed 90 seconds. She needed to disarm it, but a sound stopped her. Cole's voice, faint, echoing from the tunnel's entrance. He wasn't alone. A fourth figure, unseen until now, spoke, his voice chillingly familiar. Emma crouched, peering through a grate overlooking the concourse. Cole stood with a man in a tailored suit, his face half-lit. Victor Hayes, Oliver Baxter's former neural core partner, ousted for stealing AI patents. Emma's blood ran cold. In Dubai, Hayes had brokered her team's op, his intel leading to their slaughter. He'd vanished, presumed dead, but here he was, orchestrating Ryan's doom. His words, caught through his earpiece, were venom. The boy dies, Oliver cracks, and neural core's mine. The bomb was no ransom play. It was revenge, a corporate coup to seize Oliver's AI empire. Hayes knew Emma lived. This trap was twofold: kill Ryan, lure her out. Her betrayal in Dubai, Lena's blood. The traitor's shadow, clicked into place. Hayes had sold her team, and now he wielded Ryan as a blade against Oliver. The coded message that drew Emma here, Ryan Baxter. Black backpack. 5:30 p.m. Wasn't Oliver's plea. It was Hayes' bait, using her own NSA cipher to summon the ghost he couldn't kill. Ryan's trembling voice broke her focus. "What's that noise?" Emma silenced him, her mind racing. 60 seconds. The bomb's disarming sequence required her pen's precision, but Cole's team was closing, their boots echoing. Hayes' presence raised the stakes. Neural Core's AI could shift global power, wars, economies, surveillance. Emma's resolve hardened. She wasn't here for Oliver's empire, but for Ryan, a boy caught in a Titan's war. Her pen, a relic of loss, was her weapon against Hayes' game. The tunnel's darkness was her ally, but time was a blade at her throat. She pulled Ryan behind a pipe, her voice a whisper. "Stay low." Hayes' laugh echoed, a predator savoring his trap. Emma's scars, etched in Dubai's fire, drove her forward. She'd failed Lena, but not this boy. Penn Station's fate and Neural Core's future hung on her next move, a shadow outwitting a traitor's cruel design. The maintenance tunnel's gloom enveloped Emma Carter, its damp walls echoing the relentless drip of pipes. Ryan Baxter, heir to Oliver Baxter's neural core empire, crouched beside her, his hoodie soaked, eyes wide with dread. The backpack slung over his shoulder harbored a military-grade explosive, its red glow pulsing through the zipper, 90 seconds to detonation. Emma's gray coat was streaked with grime, her glasses abandoned, revealing eyes that burned with focus. Her Dubai 2017 pen, a relic of betrayal, was her only tool. Beyond the tunnel, Penn Station churned with chaos, commuters unaware of the doom ticking beneath their feet. Cole's mercenaries, led by Victor Hayes' vendetta, hunted them, their boots thudding closer. Emma's NSA training kicked in, her fingers steady as she eased the backpack from Ryan's trembling frame. "Hold still," she whispered, her voice a blade cutting through his panic. The device was sleek, its timer flashing, 60 seconds. Its wiring, intricate and lethal, demanded precision. Hayes, the traitor from Dubai, had engineered this trap, using Ryan to crush neural core and lure Emma into the open. Her pen's tip, honed for decoding, probed the device's casing. A wrong move would end them all, turning Penn Station into a grave. Ryan's breath hitched, his AirPods forgotten, his billionaire bravado shattered. "Why me?" he rasped. Emma ignored him, her mind a fortress of calculations, wire colors, circuit paths, fail-safes. The explosive was remote-triggered, meaning Hayes could detonate it if she failed. She spotted a blue wire, the key to disarming, but a secondary trigger loomed, a trap within a trap. Dubai's lessons, blood, loss, betrayal, guided her hands. Lena's dying words, "Find who sold us," fueled her resolve. She wouldn't fail Ryan, not like she failed her team. Footsteps echoed, Cole, closing in, his taser sparking faintly in the tunnel's dim light. Emma's pen pierced the casing, exposing the timer. 40 seconds. Sweat beaded on her forehead, but her hands were ice. She clipped the blue wire, the red glow flickering, but a backup circuit hummed, defiant. Ryan clutched a pipe, his fear a mirror of her own buried scars. "Hurry," he pleaded. Emma's pen twisted, rerouting the circuit, her movements surgical. The timer froze at 20 seconds, the glow fading. The bomb was dead, but Cole's shadow loomed, 10 feet away. Emma shoved the backpack behind a pipe, pulling Ryan deeper into the tunnel. Cole's voice barked, "They're here." His taser's hum was a predator's snarl. Emma's mind raced. The service door was compromised, but a ventilation shaft ahead offered escape. She pushed Ryan toward it, her voice low. "Climb, now." He scrambled, fear driving him. Emma's pen stayed in her grip, a silent vow. Hayes' trap had failed, but his hunters were relentless. She'd disarmed the explosive, but the war wasn't won. Penn Station's pulse thrummed above, its people spared, for now. Emma's Dubai scars, etched in loss, drove her forward. She wasn't a hero, just a ghost refusing to let another life slip through her fingers. The tunnel's darkness swallowed them, but Cole's pursuit was a blade at their backs. 20 seconds had saved hundreds, but Emma's fight was far from over. She moved, a shadow outrunning fate, ready to face the traitor who'd written her death in Dubai's blood. The maintenance tunnel's shadows cloaked Emma Carter and Ryan Baxter, the air thick with damp rot and the echo of dripping pipes. The bomb in Ryan's backpack was silenced, its red glow extinguished by Emma's Dubai 2017 pen, but Penn Station's salvation hung by a thread. Cole, the mercenary leader, stalked closer, his taser's faint spark cutting the gloom. Victor Hayes' trap, targeting Ryan to crush Oliver Baxter's neural core empire, had failed, but his hunters were relentless. Emma, her gray coat torn, eyes blazing without glasses, pushed Ryan toward a ventilation shaft. The 16-year-old heir, his hoodie drenched, scrambled up, fear replacing his billionaire swagger. Cole's boots thudded, 10 feet away, his voice a growl. "They're close." Emma's NSA training was her anchor, her mind a blade slicing through panic. Hayes, the traitor from Dubai, had lured her here, using Ryan as bait to end her ghost-like existence. She'd disarmed the explosive, but Cole's team, Vince and Shaw guarding the exits, blocked their escape. The shaft led to a subway platform, a slim chance at freedom. Emma's pen, now a weapon, stayed in her grip. Ryan's ragged breaths echoed. He whispered, "Who are you?" She ignored him, her focus on survival. Cole's taser sparked, illuminating his silhouette. Emma calculated. A direct fight risked Ryan's life. She needed a diversion. A rusted pipe wrench lay nearby, discarded in the tunnel's grime. She grabbed it, hurling it against a metal panel. The clang reverberated, drawing Cole's steps away. "Move," she hissed, shoving Ryan into the shaft. He climbed, his sneakers scraping steel. Emma followed, her shoulder burning from a graze in the earlier scuffle. Blood seeped through her coat, but pain was an old ally, ignored since Dubai's betrayal. Cole pivoted, realizing the ruse. "Fan out," he barked, Vince's footsteps joining from a side tunnel. Emma's pin traced the shaft's bolts, loosening one to jam the grate behind them. 30 seconds bought, not enough. The shaft opened to a platform edge, commuters oblivious above. Ryan stumbled, his fear a liability. Emma's voice cut through. "Run to the crowd." He nodded, bolting upward. Cole's taser fired, its prongs grazing Emma's arm, pain flaring. She twisted, slamming her elbow into his wrist, dislodging the weapon. It clattered into the shaft's depths. Vince charged, his own taser drawn. Emma dropped low, using the tunnel's curve, and kicked his knee, sending him sprawling. Her pen stabbed his hand, pinning it to the ground. He howled, but Shaw was coming, his shadow looming. Emma dragged Ryan onto the platform, blending into the throng. Sirens wailed above. Someone had triggered an alarm. Hayes' plan was unraveling, but his reach wasn't broken. Emma's shoulder throbbed, her blood a dark stain. She pushed Ryan toward an exit, whispering, "Find your dad. Don't look back." Penn Station pulsed, spared by her hands, but Emma's war wasn't over. Hayes, the puppet master, was still out there, his betrayal a wound she'd settle. She slipped into a side corridor, her pen clutched tight, a vow of vengeance. Ryan vanished into the crowd, safe but marked by her shadow. Emma, the ghost who'd rewritten fate, melted into the station's heart, her sacrifice unseen, her fight unending. Penn Station exhaled as sirens pierced its chaos, commuters scattering like leaves in a storm. Emma Carter slipped into a shadowed corridor, her gray coat blood-streaked. Her Dubai 2017 pin still clutched tight. The bomb in Ryan Baxter's backpack was dead, its threats silenced by her hands. Ryan, the 16-year-old heir to Oliver Baxter's neural core empire, had vanished into the crowd, safe but shaken, his hoodie a fading speck among the throng. Emma's shoulder throbbed, the taser wound a fresh scar joining Dubai's ghosts. She'd outwitted Cole's mercenaries and Victor Hayes' trap, but Penn Station's pulse still raced, unaware of the abyss it had skirted. Above, police swarmed, their radios crackling with reports of a technical glitch. The jammer's hum was gone, its source untraced. Emma's actions, disarming the explosive, felling Cole and Vince, left no footprints. Security footage, mysteriously wiped, showed only static where she'd stood. Ryan, now on a train to Manhattan, clutched a crumpled note she'd slipped into his pocket. "Emma knows. Don't speak." His eyes, wide with awe, held her shadow, a woman who'd rewritten his fate. Oliver Baxter, in his neural core tower, received a call. Ryan was safe. His face, stone cold, betrayed a flicker when a voice mentioned a woman. Hayes, the traitor from Dubai, had vanished. His vendetta, to break Oliver and seize neural core's AI, had crumbled, but Emma knew he'd strike again. The coded message that lured her here, using her own NSA cipher, was his signature. He'd wanted her exposed, dead, or both. Instead, she'd turned his game, saving hundreds without a trace. The station's cameras missed her exit through a maintenance hatch, her movements fluid. Practiced. A janitor glimpsed her, a fleeting figure, but his report was buried, dismissed as fatigue. Emma was a ghost, her existence erased as swiftly as in Dubai. Oliver's silence spoke loudest. He knew her from 2017, when her codes shielded his AI's infancy. Had he sent the message, hedging his son's life on her skills? Or was Hayes the sole puppeteer? Emma didn't care. She'd saved Ryan. Not for Oliver's empire, but for the boy who'd looked at her like Lena once had, trusting, desperate. Her scars, physical and unseen, were her fuel. In a Brooklyn safe house, she burned her coat. The blood too telling. A new burner phone pinged. San Francisco. 9 p.m. tech summit. No signature, but the cipher was hers. Hayes, or another shadow, was calling. Emma crushed the phone, its fragments ash in her hands. Penn Station spun on, its people blind to the war she'd fought. Ryan would carry her ghost, sketching her face in secret, his father's silence a wall. Neural Core's AI, safe for now, loomed as a prize in a larger game. Emma stepped into the night, her pen her only companion, its etched memory a vow. She wasn't a hero, just a shadow who'd shifted fate's cruel arc. Her fight, against Hayes, against betrayal, stretched beyond the station's lights, a battle no one would name. Emma Carter's shadow lingers in Penn Station's fading echoes. Her blood-streaked code a testament to a fight no one saw. She disarmed a deadly explosive, saved Ryan Baxter, the heir to Neural Core's empire, and vanished, leaving only whispers. Her story, etched in the silence of her Dubai 2017 pen, reveals a truth. Heroism thrives in the unseen. Emma, a ghost forged by betrayal, chose to act, not for glory or Oliver Baxter's wealth, but for a boy caught in a Titan's war. Her scars, from Dubai's ashes to Penn Station's tunnels, drove her to shield lives, defying a traitor's cruel design. She teaches us that courage doesn't need a spotlight. It burns brightest in the dark, in choices made when no one watches. A single act, like hers, can shift fate, saving hundreds without a trace. You don't need a name to matter. You need purpose, a spark to stand between chaos and innocence. Look around. You're in the crowd, too. A kind word, a bold stand, a quiet sacrifice can change lives. Emma's war was hers alone, but her courage is universal. Be the one who acts, unseen, for those who need you. Share her story with #NamelessHeroes on platforms like X. And tell your own tale of silent bravery. Follow the Nameless operative for Emma's next fight in San Francisco. Who's the target? Only she knows. What's your move?